Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today I am thrilled to be able to discuss with you a brand new brush collection from Sonia G. This is, in my little hand right here, the Sonia G Fusion series. It is a series of 5 brushes made very specifically to work with both cream and liquid products for your face. So we're going to talk all about them, and we're going to even recreate the look here so you can see how each of these 5 brushes work. They are sold individually for various prices and as a set for $225. Now it is true they went very, very fast, but Sonia G on her site, Sweet Makeup Temptations, and on Instagram does say that she anticipates a restock sometime in July. So you can use the link below that I have left to sign up there to be notified, because I bet they'll go fast again. These were highly anticipated. I'm going to tell you why. I want to talk about them just very quickly in general, and then we'll go into a specific discussion and demonstration with each of the 5 brushes, okay? So the reason why these were so highly anticipated and so popular is that if you are a natural Japanese artisan brush enthusiast, you probably have had a little bit of trouble finding the right brush for your cream or liquid products. Now, generally, we use undyed goat hair. I mean, of course, there's all sorts of different natural hair brushes you can buy, but let's talk specifically about goat hair. And we usually use undyed goat hair for liquid or cream products, and that's great. I mean, they have a really nice airiness and a grip. They don't clump, or you'll get rid of all those streaks that you can get when applying with synthetic only brushes, especially foundation and things. And they absorb the excess oil in products. But the only problem is that an all goat hair, all natural brush for liquid and cream products can absorb the oil, but it can also absorb maybe a little bit too much. And the glide factor, that smooth gliding factor that you get from synthetic brushes, is gone. So what Sonia G has done here, because she is a brush genius, and I really do mean that, she has made this perfect combination of natural hair and synthetic. So this is a combination of 3. We have goat hair. We also have 2 different kinds of synthetic fabrications, PTT and PBT. If you are a student of such things, this will make sense to you. To the rest of us, it is just synthetic and natural goat hair mixed together for this perfect combination and this perfect application. Now, in terms of cleaning and care for these brushes, you're going to care for them just like you would any other natural hair brushes. And I have some videos that do explain that. I can also go into that for any of you that want a little bit of a refresher on that. Just let me know. Can they be used with powder? Yes, they can, but do expect a more exact application if you use them with powder, a little bit of a heavier application. You know what they would be great for? Powder foundations, where you want a little bit more coverage and you want to dip and kind of buff in a powder foundation. They'd be great for that. They are made more specifically with liquid and cream products in mind, but that doesn't mean you can't use them with powders. There's no rules. I mean, sure enough, we've been using our powder brushes with liquids up until these were introduced anyway. So why not? There are no rules, but I just wanted you to know what the specifics were. We're going to talk now about each one of these 5 brushes, and when we talk about them, we're also going to demonstrate them. So I'm going to come back with literally nothing on my face, and we are just going to start from scratch. Wait till you see how effortless, and I do mean effortless, this whole process is. Okay, so as you see, I got nothing on my face, so it's a perfect time to get started and explore these new brushes one at a time. We're going to start obviously with a base, just a little bit of foundation, and then concealer. And for the foundation, I am going to use my Tarte Hydroflex. It's just kind of light for summer. I really like it. And my little kind of slightly slanted here. I don't know if you can see that. This brush is slightly, ever so slightly slanted for really good application. You'll see this is the jumbo base, and I'm going to use it for foundation. You could probably find quite a few uses for it, but I'm going to use it for foundation. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this Tarte serum on the back of my hand here, just for kind of ease of use. And I'm just going to dip and apply. Now the great thing about this brush for foundation, as I was mentioning earlier, is you're not going to get any kind of streaks with it. The combination of the goat hair and the synthetic fibers really makes this an all-over, really easy blending brush. And I don't know if you can see, I'm doing this super clumsily and super quickly, but I'm getting no streaks. And as you know, I'm sure if you have put on foundation before with a synthetic brush, it blends it nicely, but you'll quite often, get little streaks as well. Okay, so that was just me cleaning off my hand and running it down my face a little bit. So as you see, this is doing the work for me. And probably, if I may go out on a limb, and I'm actually comfortable saying this, so I'm going to. This for me is the most comfortable, easiest to use foundation brush I have ever used. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. And it's not something that I'm worried about, an assertion I'm worried about making. I think this is just pretty obvious how quick and easy that was. I'm going to take my Armani Power Fabric here, just dot a little bit under my eyes, and in order to blend it in, I am going to use one of 2 concealer brushes that comes with this set. So let's look at them. There are 2 concealer brushes, the soft concealer and the jumbo concealer. I'm going to show them to you and we're going to use them. I'm going to take this foundation off my hand here. There we go. Okay, so we have our soft concealer brush. This one has a little bit more movement than the other, which we'll see in a moment. This one does concealer, and it does it with a very soft application because it's a little bit softer and it's a little bit more flexible, as you can see. This is going to be great for under the eyes. So as I said, I have a little bit of my Armani concealer here that I'm just looking in my mirror down here, going to put around that redness that I get on my nose. I also have some kind of visible, kind of blue areas of kind of veins by my eye. I don't know, it's not very pretty, but we're going to cover it up. And the really nice thing about this is it's just so soft and so gentle and just smooths it in. The other thing that this works for really, really well is eye primer. So I'm going to run this concealer up over onto my eyelid too to prep it for eye makeup. Now that's a bit lazy of me. If I'm really taking my time, I would use an actual eye primer, of course, and we have some very good ones out there on the market. But just for the sake of time now, look at how quickly and easily that goes in. I don't know if you've ever been applying concealer under the eyes. Sometimes, if it happens to me, I'm sure it happens to you, you'll get little gaps here if you haven't run it up. Have you ever had that? You look in the mirror and you go, oh, something looks... This is so flexible that it just got it on its own. What an easy, simple, quick way to put on concealer or to put on any sort of an eye primer. Okay, so now let's look at our second concealer brush. This is the jumbo concealer, and as you see, let's compare the two. Here was the soft that we just used, and here is the jumbo. So you see it's a little bit bigger, and the thing about the jumbo is it's got a bit of a stronger, more firm application. It's much more definite, and it applies things in a much more precise way. It is kind of applies in a more opaque fashion. So if you're going to use this for concealer, it's a really good one to use. You know, I just used around my redder areas, but this one would be really good for super red areas or a blemish if you have it, because it's very definite in how it applies. But this time I used my soft concealer for all the concealer I had, and I want to actually use this, believe it or not, to apply highlights. This is a very definite application. But before we do that, I'm going to hop over and do the eyes, because this is not an eye video. Although Sonia G, of course, has beautiful eye brushes, we are devoting ourselves right now to this set, which is mostly around the face, since we're dealing with all these liquid products. Remember though, you could use either of these brushes on any sort of a liquid eye or cream eye product if you wanted to. But today we're going to mostly deal with the face, so I'm coming right back with my eyes done. Stay right there. Okay, I just did some very light eye makeup. Remember, as I said, you could certainly use this soft concealer and even the jumbo concealer that we're about to use, believe it or not, on a cream or, on a cream eye product. Absolutely. I didn't want to make this an eye video, but I certainly could have done that. So now we are going to use the jumbo concealer that we just spoke about before I took a little break to put on a little bit of eye makeup. So I have got the highlighter of the moment right now, right? I have the Lisa Eldridge highlighter that is kind of a liquid highlighter. So I'm going to go ahead and dot it here on my hand. You could just dot it on your face, dot it on your hand, whatever. But I know this is a very precise application. So I really just wanted to not just lay it on the face itself, but I could have taken the doe foot and gone right onto the face. I'm just being a little bit more careful since it's the first time I'm using this, and this is definitely a precise application. The little bristles on this are just a little bit, not stiffer, because that sounds like a negative word, and trust me, it's not negative. You can just feel how much more precise this is, and I kind of like that for highlighter. I don't have a ton of room personally on my face right here, so if I do a very sweeping motion with a highlighter, it can highlight right here if I'm not careful, and it looks almost like I'm wearing a highlighter goggles or something. So I actually like that very precise way of adding in a highlighter. So for me, this jumbo concealer is really quite effective. Okay, let's continue on here. Let's talk about our mini base. We have two more brushes to use here, and we're going to talk about the mini base. But in order to talk about the mini base, we do need to refer to the Keyaki set. Do you guys remember the Keyaki set that Sonia G released? I think it was her last brush set release. These were the little travel brushes. I love them and don't use them for travel, but a lot of people would. They have a slightly shorter handle. This is the mini base, and it is, you're going to recognize it, except this has a little bit of a longer handle, see? But other than that, they are the same brush. Same makeup, same everything. This one's just used a lot more, so on my Keyaki set, so it's just a little bit more fluffed out. But they are the same brush. If you recognize that, you are correct. Okay, this mini base is kind of the hybrid of a foundation and a concealer brush. It's kind of in the middle there. If you look at the soft concealer in this hand, you'll see it's just that little bit bigger and of course smaller than the foundation brush we use. The mini base is great for blush. It's great for contour. It does quite a few things. We're going to use it for contour today, and since we're working with cream products, I pulled out my Patrick Ta bronzing set. So this has a cream contour in it, and I thought this would be perfect to use. Let's see how it blends. Now you can stamp with this, you can kind of pounce with it. I'm going to make my silly face and suck in my cheeks here, my little chubby cheeks. And just kind of get that in there. So I kind of pounce, and then I'm just going to kind of go around there and just kind of chisel things in an attempt to give myself cheekbones. Now we talked about being able to use these brushes with powder as well, and I'm going to show you that now because I want to use my, I'm going to use a little bit up here too. I want to use the rest of this Patrick Ta set, and the bronzer is powder. So let's go ahead and try this with powder. Now let me tell you, it's going to be a little tough because this is going to be a very precise, very heavier application than I would get with my normal all natural bristles. But I'm aware of that, so I'm just being very gentle, and I'm going kind of in circular motions, and it just kind of bronzed me up, as you see, and gave me a bit of color. And for the last brush, we have our classic base. This is just a beautiful classic base brush. This is really great for foundation, especially if you have hyperpigmentation, because this would be a smaller brush than the main jumbo base that we used for the foundation earlier. If you have hyperpigmentation and you want to go in and add a little bit into certain spots, this would be great for that. This also will do contour if you want to kind of do a larger sweeping contour, and for any sort of cream or liquid blushes. You can also apply a powder blush on top of your cream or liquid. Just know that it's going to do a heavier application. So I am going to go with another blush of the moment. Here is a beautiful liquid blush. This is the new one out by Lisa Eldridge, and I'm going to do what I did earlier and put a little bit onto my hand. This is kind of a thicker blush, and I like this because it's kind of a combination. This is the pink soap color, by the way. It's kind of a combination of a cream and a liquid, really. So what better way to try out this new blush brush? And again, I gotta tell you guys, this is such a pleasant and easy experience. This is the first time I'm using these brushes, but I don't feel like, I feel like I can easily chat away to you guys. I don't feel like I need to stop and pay attention in case I get it wrong. I'm not even looking too much in my mirror. I'm using the viewfinder a lot, which is far away from me, because it just feels like it's such an easy, kind of simple application, and voila, my makeup is done. Again, I could have used these brushes even to do eye makeup, especially if I put on a cream base. It would be so pretty. It's almost too easy. I never really realized how much even using those synthetic brushes for a base make streaks that you're ending up going back and reblending in. This was just such a pleasant experience. I'm just finding a reason to keep putting them on my face. They're just so soft and lovely, and no wonder why they sold out. Now, I'm not gushing over them to make any of you feel sad if you didn't get them. Please do sign up, because like I said, Sonia G herself expects a restock in July, and they'll go fast again. These are fantastic brushes. Did you get yours? Maybe it hasn't arrived yet. I would just like to know everything and your thoughts, plus any questions that you want me to answer, any comparisons to other brushes that you would like me to do over on Instagram. I am happy to do for you. Anything that lets me discuss these brushes a little more, and I'm happy to do it, to be quite honest with you. As you know, I am a huge fan and I am proud to be one. So do leave your comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. And if you haven't already done so, I do hope that you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.